In this video, we're going to learn the truth about WordPress membership plugins and how they work within WordPress. Now, before we get started, there's one thing I want you to really understand. WordPress itself is a very good, what's called CMS, content management software. So it's very good for content management. It's very good for themes on your website. It's very good for adding plugins, for adding graphs and pricing structures and tables and all the aesthetics, all the great looking stuff on your website. But here's the thing. Once you start adding a lot of plugins to make your site look better, to make it, react quicker, more efficient, etc. The thing is, the more plugins you add to WordPress, the more vulnerable it becomes. Now, when you add a membership system, which is a pretty large system because you can handle millions of clients and there's just tons of features and things you can do to monetize your website to make more money, etc. This is where it's not such a good idea to have a plugin as a membership solution for WordPress, simply because the more plugins you add, the more problems you will have later in the future with compatibility issues, just straight up, just all kinds of issues, because each plugin you have is always updating. WordPress is always updating. And then on top of that, if you have a membership system on top of that, then you're talking about some serious updating and some conflicts and issues that can cost you a lot of time and money in the future. So the main reason is because the database under WordPress is a single database. Therefore, it manages WordPress, all the pages, all the stuff you add to it, plus the plugins, all the stuff you have on there. So when you start adding more stuff to it, it becomes a lot more complex and difficult to manage. So the reason I know this is because I've used WordPress myself, and I happen to have owned a membership system, my own membership software for the last 15 years, and I've helped thousands of clients go through the same thing, and most of them now obviously use WordPress, and this has been, an ongoing problem for clients that have come to me after they've already tried, a membership plugin and realized that it's not going to be able to scale up and grow with them, and they've just had too many problems. So we decided to create a WordPress integration for our system to integrate with WordPress. So all the protection and membership management is done through our side of the software. You don't even have to touch WordPress. Now, the other issue is, like I was speaking earlier, that the more plugins you have in WordPress, the more vulnerable your website gets. So the larger the plugin is, like a membership plugin, again, the more vulnerable your website is going to be, because there's more ways to hack into your website. So hackers will look for ways, either through, if it's a plugin or through WordPress itself, but more than likely they're going to go through a plugin that's vulnerable, because WordPress itself is pretty secure. So we have made sure with our software, since we specialize in membership websites, that we pretty much have the best security when it comes to DDoS attacks, brute force attacks, any kind of attacks on your website when people are trying to log in and things like that. So this is something you really want to think about when you're growing your membership website, because in the end it is a business, and all businesses need to grow. They need to thrive. They need to be able to get to the next level in order to compete with their competitors. So now I want to show you the difference between using a WordPress membership plugin and using a system like ours. So now you'll see there are two separate databases now, and you'll also notice that the membership database on the right also has its own plugins for like PayPal and MailChimp and other things you're going to need for your members. So now you're going to easily see that in this scenario, there are both of these databases are interconnected. They're integrated as if it was a plugin, but it's a main feed for what you would call a plugin, but it's really a main integration of these two databases, and each database has other little plugins going on all at the same time. So what this does is it allows you to run everything on your website a lot more efficient now, because you have your WordPress database on one side and your membership database on the other. So that means you can run your WordPress website itself much more efficiently now. You can upgrade it much more efficiently. You can add more plugins to it without breaking the system. And you can also run your membership site efficiently as well, with its own plugins and its own flow of of the database information. So this is a much more cohesive, easier, scalable way to run your membership website, because again, in the future, when you have to scale up and grow, this scenario is going to allow you to do that. Whereas in the single membership database for WordPress, that's going to make things somewhat harder, because now you're relying everything to run under a single database. So in closing, I mainly want to make this introductory video in order to warn those that are interested in starting the membership website and start making some passive recurring income, that a big thing they're going to have to look at before they start is concerns such as the ones I just brought up with WordPress and the plugins and things like that. So what I've done is I've created a multi-part video for the next part I want you to see, that basically is called How to Easily Create a WordPress Membership Site. And I pretty much walk you through how it's done through our website, how other clients of ours have done it, and that now have successful membership sites, which again you can see on our website as proof of our clients using the software and using it very well. So that's what I really want you to focus on, and it lets you have insight before you make any mistakes or before you decide to actually start your website or your membership site. You get to see how it's all done without worrying about, if I have to do this or that later. So that's the beauty of it. So I hope you found this video informative and inspiring. So come check us out at omnisecure.com.